Welcome to the Drive-In Movie Podcast, now playing Cinemacon.
Woohoo!
Berkan, you just had the craziest week of your life.
Going
I feel
to the movies. Yeah. I did have a crazy week.
And not just the movies, but like the front row presentation, breaking news demonstrations, like
meeting celebrities.
Surrounded by celebrities and other types of influencers, going to after parties.
Bright lights, casinos.
It was more than the movies. Like you were really in the center of the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's a little detail of this trip that I've not told you yet.
You haven't told me a lot of the
was
details.
Very
about
magical.
This trip. Whoa.
I know, very magical.
One specific detail.
That's
very magical.
I've not told you yet.
Where do you want to start?
God, the beginning.
Okay.
Let me explain. So, Cinemacon, for those who don't know, Cinemacon is a 4-day conference. It starts Monday through Thursday in Las Vegas every single year around March and April. And what it is all these studio heads go, and they're brought in by Cinema United, which is like the big the big organization that kind of connects everything. I've never heard of
Cinema
United.
Never heard of Cinema
called NATO. But
used to be called NATO?
And they reference that used to be confusing for people.
No, yeah. If I found out that NATO was in charge of making all the movies in the world, I would have a lot of questions.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't even know if I got that detail-wise correct, but now I know Cinema United runs the whole thing, right?
Okay.
But anyway, so the people who attend CinemaCon are your movie theater owners, right? Like Cinemark, AMC, Regal Movies, Alamo Drafthouse, like local non-franchise movie theaters. They all go to these conferences, and they basically are shown like what's coming to their theaters, right? It's all about like how can we make the movie theater experience better for the consumer? How are we going to market movies? What's coming? What you should be excited about? Like what's really going to bring in money for these movie theaters? That's what it is. And it's a bunch of these studios, actors, and directors thanking them for supporting them and showing their movies and being essentially a host, right? So it's a big conference for that. So it's not like a San Diego Comic-Con, right? That people go and dress up and see all these cool like reveals. That's not what this is. It very much is on a high business level. You could technically buy a badge if you want to go to CinemaCon, but it's like I said, Comic-Con's like $400 for the weekend. CinemaCon's like $1,600.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot. So I and a bunch of other creators, we applied as press. We went through an application process. It took months of waiting. We got approved, and we're all set to go from there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, about applying for it months and months and months ago. And so you knew a lot of the people there already too, right? Like you knew Danbo, right?
Yep. I want to shout out Danbo. I want to shout out Coco, and I want to shout out Jenks. That's my Take 4 squad.
Wow.
Love those guys.
Yeah.
We shared a room together. It was great. Real cuddly.
That's got to be so much better than also like going by yourself and figuring out everything and like being surrounded by all of these business owners and all sorts of...
It definitely makes it easier. And it wasn't just them. Also, it's Danbo at Tui. I should be specific.
Right.
But it's not just them. Like, we had the Skate Pod guys, which I love. You know, Soups is there. Evan Solo, who I love. All these creators. Straw Hat Goofy, who I love. I love Straw Hat. Juju's like... He's the nicest person in the world.
Yeah, I saw you guys partying together, too.
We did. There was some partying.
Yeah.
But I'll get into that. But anyway, Every creator was there. That was there. Nicest people. The nicest group of people. Such a great community that we have.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun that we kind of all got to share. Actually, so what happened was a group of us met in New York City Comic-Con. And we all stopped in Times Square for hours. And this was in October. We literally stood in Times Square for hours. And we talked about like what we all wanted to do. We all said we wanted to all meet back up at CinemaCon. And we did that.
You guys accomplished your dream.
Yeah, we did. It was really cool. But anyway, so let me dive into what CinemaCon is. Or I talked about what CinemaCon is.
Yeah, a little bit, but we don't know.
Talk about the details.
Right, we don't know the events or the activities.
All right, so I'll start with Monday, right? So basically, we had a couple presentations a day. The whole thing kicked off with the Sony presentation, right? So Sony gave us some good details. They gave us a look at this brand new animated movie called GOAT, which is produced by Steph Curry.
A whole movie about LeBron James?
Oof, that's awkward.
Uh-oh.
It's produced by Steph Curry.
Uh-oh.
It's inspired by Steph Curry.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, you're right. It is kind of misleading because a whole movie about the goat and Dirk Nowitzki isn't mentioned once.
Eesh.
Kind of ridiculous.
So who is it about? I was joking. I've never heard about
It's
this
literally
movie.
about a goat.
Oh,
It's
wow.
an animated goat. But the
Wait,
concept art they
Steph
showed.
Curry?
No, Steph Curry produced a movie about a goat that plays basketball.
Okay, so he does play
It
basketball.
does play basketball.
Okay.
But no, the concept art looked amazing. A lot of these movies aren't like ready by any means at all. And so we saw concept art for it. It actually looks really entertaining. I'm excited about it. The big thing from the Sony presentation was Beyond the Spider-Verse has a release date. June 5th, 2027.
Wasn't it supposed to be out now?
It was supposed to come out a year ago. But besides the point, it's coming out June 5th, 2027.
Okay.
And I saw a teaser.
How's the teaser look?
Freaking incredible. The animation is supposed to be bigger. There's going to be new animation styles.
I do like how they do different stuff every movie.
Yeah, they're continuing
The
that.
animation from the first movie is totally different from the animation from the second movie.
Yeah, they're continuing that trend, and it's going to be bigger. It's going to be so exciting. We got to see some glimpses of Miles versus Miles Prower. You know, the Prower version of Miles.
Yes.
It looked like they team up. We got to see a quick shot of maybe the reunion of Miles and Gwen. We got to see the Spot just absolutely go ham, absorbing buildings, just being an absolute menace. It's gonna be crazy. It was just a teaser. There was no dialogue from this new movie. It was all dialogue from previous films. It's not a teaser that I imagine is going to be shown to the public ever.
Okay, so they're probably still working on the real teaser trailer.
They got a long time to go. We probably won't get that sucker until next year.
Yeah, because I mean, the movie's not going to come out for another 2 years. Huh?
Yes, but what is coming out next year? Spider-Man 4 in the MCU, which finally had an actual legitimate announcement. And on top of that, Spider-Man 4 will now be called Spider-Man Brand New Day.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's a fresh start for Peter Parker.
Is it going to be like a real reboot? Like, how much do you know about it?
It's not a reboot.
Okay.
It's still Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Right, but how much of it is continuing from what happened previously? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think people still aren't going to know his identity, you know?
Right.
It's going to be, I know Sadie Sink is going to be in the movie playing a new female character. Sadie Sink was from the Stranger Things franchise. That's really, we don't know that much about it. But I can say it does come out about 2 months. July 31st, 2026. Happy birthday to me. Yeah. Because that means the first showing will be July 30th. So make sure your plans are clear on my birthday.
2026.
2026.
Not this birthday.
Not this birthday. My 28th birthday, you're mine.
Okay.
But anyway, 2 months before that, Avengers Doomsday comes out.
2 months.
There's a lot of rumors about what Spider-Man is going to look like. I can't say he is going to get a new suit. They are working on a new suit for Spider-Man and Spider-Man 4. Okay. But there's questions about whether or not he's even going to be in Doomsday, because is Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day going to be what Ant-Man and the Wasp was for Infinity War, where it explains why they weren't in that movie and why they will be in the next one.
I see.
But can't spend too much time on that because there's a lot to get through.
Right.
The next piece of news, I think you are going to be
Is this still the Sony presentation?
It's still the Sony presentation.
Okay.
The Sony presentation ended with the live-action Beatles cast coming on stage for the first time.
This is an interesting concept. Go on.
Yeah. The live-action Beatles cast, oh gosh, I cannot. Let me see if I can get this right. So it's...
I like how you're saying live-action Beatles, as if there's like an animated Beatles.
The Beatles cast.
Yeah, the live-action animated Beatles biopics, not to be confused with the animated Beatles biopics.
All right, okay. The Beatles movie, right? The Beatles
and that's movies.
Biopic.
That's movies plural.
Movies. I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Paul Mescal, Barry,
Keegan,
something.
Kieran.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I'll flash this picture up. Joseph Quinn, and then John Dickinson, I think. Okay. The names are... I'm going through 4 days of Cinemacon in my brain right now, so I apologize if I don't get every name correctly. But not just a Beatles movie, 4 Beatles movies.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
The first one comes out April 28th. April 2028. The second one comes out April 2028. The third one comes out April 2028. And the fourth one comes out April 2028.
Yeah, so... how are people going to afford seeing all 4 movies in 1 month?
This has never been done in cinema history.
It's such a unique concept, but the problem is that most people are going to watch one.
I know. And if that one sucks, good luck.
And it's probably going to be the John Lennon one, or maybe the Paul McCartney one.
My theory is that it's going to release every week in April. So one will release 1 week, the next week, the third week, the fourth week.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to introduce 2028, right? We have 3 years. I'm sure they're going to introduce kind of like a pass system where you, for like $35, you can get a ticket for each one, right? Which I think will be reasonable.
They're gonna
$35 for
have
4
to.
movies. Gets you a pass to each one. I think it's going to end with Ringo, which is Barry's movie.
You would think that they would just make these movies on streaming services.
Nope, they're creating the most bingeable movie theater experience. The first
That's the
bingeable
thing, is
movie
that
theater
you
experience.
have to binge it.
Yeah.
But who wants to binge at a movie theater?
Listen, the whole theme of Cinemacon was fuck streaming.
I can understand why the industry would.
I mean, it's a conference for movie theater owners.
The problem is that I can understand why the industry would say that, and there is something special about the theater experience, but the streaming experience is for the consumer.
Right.
The streaming experience is so convenient for the consumer that you can't really knock it, because a lot of people, everybody uses it, everybody enjoys it. If we had to watch every movie in the theater, we didn't get to see it, there'd be so much less access to these pieces of art. You know what I mean?
For sure. But yeah, so that was the Sony presentation, right? I'm sorry, I do have to move on because I have a lot of studios to get through. The Sony presentation ended with the Beatles announcement. Seeing them all together on stage for the first time was really cool. I'm sure I'm going to look back on that moment in 3 years and be like, what the heck? The next morning, we had Lionsgate. Lionsgate wasn't a big, like, reveal type thing. It's not that studio, in my opinion. There are some cool things. Mark Hamill has a new movie called The Long Walk, which is based off a book starring David Johnson, who is an alien.
Is that not Lord of the Rings?
The Long Walk.
Yeah.
Pretty much is. But it's basically like these kids are like walking, and they walked about 10-15 miles a day while making this movie. And basically, if you stop walking, you have to keep a certain pace, and if you stop that pace, they you.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's produced by the same guy who directed the Hunger Game movies, or directed by the same guy.
Is this like a sci-fi thing? What's the deal with this? Is this based on is this based in the real world?
It's in the real world.
Who's the villains? Like, who's gonna kill them?
Mark Hamill's the villain.
No, but I mean, like, who is he? Like, is this like a?
I've never read the book. We saw a teaser. This is the premise of it, essentially. It's like this military operations. I don't know if it's like a game show type thing where there's a big prize at the end. I don't know if their society's forcing them to do this. I do not know, but it's so interested. The trailer looked crazy. Also, there's a new Hunger Games books out there. Sunrise Reaping, I think.
Right. Is this a prequel?
This is a prequel about Haymitch's Hunger Games.
Right.
They released
I hope he wins.
They released a book. The book was a massive success this past couple weeks. It's been out for a few weeks now. Massive success. The movie is releasing next year.
It's so interesting that the Hunger Games franchise is still going strong.
Yeah. Yeah, people love this book too.
The books are doing well and the movies are doing well, at least financially. Yeah. I think people were kind of mixed on the last movie that came out. What was it? The
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
People were kind of half and half on whether they enjoyed it or not. But I think the book did really well, and at the very least, that movie got people re-interested in the original books and movies. So then I bet they got a lot of traffic.
The Haymitch story is one also the community's been very excited about and wants to know more. So that's really exciting. I'm really, really excited about that. And I think, yeah, this is Lionsgate.
So that was all Lionsgate.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to mix up your
studios.
My studios.
Yeah, that's a lot to keep straight.
It's a lot. So I apologize if I am mixing this up, but John Wick Chapter 5 was announced.
Okay.
We're getting an animated John Wick movie.
Whoa.
It's a prequel. It is about his impossible task. So that's going to be really interesting. I've never seen the John Wick movies, but everyone around me was super excited. So I can respect them for that. There's a new movie in the John Wick world coming out called Ballerina. I saw a sequence from that. That actually looked really interesting. Oh, yeah. It comes out very, very soon, like in the next couple months.
I think they actually have a poster.
Yeah, it's like very soon. It may even be April, to be honest. But that looked really cool. And then The Weeknd has a movie called Hurry Up Tomorrow. That is based kind of loosely off his album. It's a thrower starring Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, we saw the trailer for that.
Yeah, actually. So then Jenna Ortega came on stage and introduced The Weeknd, and then The Weeknd performed for like 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was
You saw
crazy.
The Weeknd. I loved The Weeknd.
It was cool.
I don't know how he's gonna be as an actor, but I really like his music.
Yeah. And then after the presentation, I walked to the all these presentations take place in Caesar's Palace, right?
Okay.
And so I walked out of the theater in the casino. I kind of stopped. I found a spot. I found a spot to the right of the theater where there's like an alleyway and there's like a little crevice where there's no slot machines or anything, so I could step away so I can make my videos. So I filmed there. I finished filming my Lionsgate recap, and then Jenna Ortega walks in front of me.
Wow.
Crazy. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I wonder why that happened.
Is she small in real life?
She is small in real life.
Okay.
So anyway, that night was the Warner Bros. Presentation. The Warner's presentation was crazy, and not for the reason I thought it would be crazy. So the Warner Bros. Everyone was excited because Superman, right?
Oh, yes.
We wanted to see Superman footage. We did get Superman footage. We got an extended look at Superman footage. It is essentially the same thing that they're now showing in front of every Minecraft screening in IMAX and
So
Dolby.
the trailer we just saw?
Yes.
Okay.
But
that's what you saw.
There's a little bit more to that. Like I saw the scene after it kind of cuts off with him screaming and then it goes into the teaser.
Yep.
I saw a little bit more from that scene. Also, I saw a little bit more of Superman and Lois's dynamic, as well as we've got a cool behind the scenes featurette. So that was cool.
Just from what they've shown so far, it looks very visually appealing.
It's very visually appealing, and it does have some humor to it.
Okay.
And it's supposedly doing very well test screening wise. But that wasn't what I came out of the Warner Bros. Presentation buzzing about.
Okay, go on.
There's two things. One, I'm really happy Warner Bros. Animation is coming back. The people who made the Iron Giant, like that studio is coming back.
Hell yeah.
They're coming back with a Cat in the Hat animated movie starring Bill Hader, which actually was interesting.
Bill Hader's
It was really good. It wasn't the typical Cat in the Hat story you've seen 1,000 times.
I really like Bill Hader.
They are creating the Seussiverse.
No
way.
way.
But anyway, we are getting this. We're getting a Flintstones.
Cat in the Hat is a multiverse movie. The post-credit scene is them introducing Horton. Here's a Who.
Honestly, they could. They're also very much trying to make Thing 1 and Thing 2 the Minions. There's Thing 1, 3, 12, 18.
Oh.
It goes on. Because like the things were introduced and it was like Thing 1 and Thing 3 and you're like, wait, what? And then you see a bunch of them. That was also a very, very, very early look at the teaser. So like the teaser wasn't even finished. But that's something I can tell you. We saw the Flintstones are getting an animated movie. The Flintstones are back. Another Tom and Jerry animated movie. The thing I'm really excited about, there's a couple other like animated movies like Marge Claus. Melissa McCarthy is voicing a character in a new Christmas movie. There's something else called like The Bad Fairies or something. But the one I'm very excited about is also in association with DC. It's called Dynamic Duo. And it's about Jason Todd and I think Robin. The two, I'm not very big into DC comics. I know it's about like two people who become like different versions of Robin essentially.
Right. There were 3 Robins and they each basically became like a different hero thing. Like the first one, I think Dick Grayson.
Yeah, okay, so Dick Grayson and Jason Todd.
Yeah, Dick Grayson became Nightwing, I think is probably who you're talking about.
He does become Nightwing.
And then eventually he becomes Batman, I think is the story.
I think.
Jason Todd, I think, actually dies. I think he becomes the Red Hood.
Yep. There's a lot there with the good old Jason, but
and I don't know what happens to the last Robin.
But so this movie I think is about Jason. It's definitely about Jason and maybe Dick, I think. Okay. But the animation is what I'm really excited about. We saw a glimpse of it. It is animated puppetry. And it looks so cool. I think
what does that even mean?
I think this is going to be, you know how Into the Spider-Verse changed the animation game?
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the next one that really evolves animation. It was so cool. It's like this, it's puppetry, but it's all animated. It doesn't look like, Sesame Street or anything like that.
But they're puppets.
But I'm telling you, it's going to be a long time, but remember this clip, remember this episode, we're going to talk about it. I need to move on.
Puppet superheroes.
The thing that got me so excited out of the Warner Bros. Presentation, I never in a million years would have thought I would come out thinking about. I'm still thinking about it. They showed an extended look at the new Final Destination movie coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a Final Destination movie. I've never seen anything from it. I've always been absolutely terrified. What they showed was one of the craziest I've ever seen in cinema history. And all I'm going to say is I'm never looking at an MRI machine the same way ever again.
Ugh.
Michael, it was the craziest thing I don't want to spoil it. I'm 1,000% telling you what happened. When this is done, I don't want to spoil it because I think people around me, when they saw it, so I was sitting next to Evan Solo, who is probably one of the best like horror movie creators out there in the game. Shout out to him. He had 1 million this year.
Whoa, let's go Evan Solo.
Really, I love Evan. He looked at me and was like, I think that's definitely in the top 5 for biggest like Final Destination deaths of all time.
I'd be interested to hear his top 5.
It was absolutely crazy. Yeah. But anyway, that was a Warner Bros. Presentation. I should add, there's like after these presentations, there were after parties. So the first night was in the Dry nightclub, DRI nightclub or whatever. It was across the street from Caesars. Michael, this nightclub, that's where the clips of me like dancing with like Dan and Juju and all them was. This nightclub was like, close your eyes, you think of a Vegas nightclub. This is it.
Okay.
Like you walk into the room and it's like half of it's indoors, but the other half is outdoors. There's a giant pool. The outdoors is like Caesar's Palace, and like you can see like the Eiffel Tower, confetti machines. Like it was insanity, man. It was insanity. After the Warner Bros. Presentation, there was a Fandango birthday party for the 25th birthday of Fandango. That was out in Caesar's pool. Wow. There was a lot of cool photo ops with like movie stand-ups. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's the first 2 days. The third day was what I was most excited for. How are you doing? I know I'm talking a lot at you.
No, I'm following. I'm listening. I gotcha.
This is definitely a Berkan Yap episode.
Well, I haven't heard about this yet either.
Yeah.
So I'm
just taking it in.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
Third day, the morning started off. I was one of the first people in the world to watch the new live action How to Train Your Dragon movie.
This part makes me upset.
I know. I'm sorry
because you've seen the movie so much before me.
Yeah, it's like 2 months.
That now every time like a trailer comes out or something, or every time anybody's talking about it, I just have to think Berkan already knows what's going to happen.
I'm not allowed to spoil. Like, I'm not allowed to give this movie any Michaels. I'm literally not allowed to review it, but I can tell you my reaction.
Okay.
I cried 5 times. Seeing this movie brought to life it will get a reaction out of you in the best ways. I think this movie is a love letter to all How to Train Your Dragon fans.
I'm not watching it.
Liar.
I'm not watching
Listen, you can't help but love this movie.
Out of protest to you, I'm not watching it.
Here's the thing, and this is my this is the highest compliment I could give any like remake film, right? Whichever version you see first, because there are people who have never seen a How to Train Your Dragon movie. Whichever version you see first is going to be your favorite version.
Okay.
It is literally on par to the point where I think there's a debate whether it could be better than the original.
I'm going to rewatch the original right before I see this one to have that fresh comparison.
No, right. Watch it like a month before.
A month?
I think a month.
You don't think I should see it the night before?
No, because I think, and here's the thing, I saw this movie with also Coco, was a creator I shared a room with, and also a creator I love. And he told me, he's like, we need to watch the night before. He's like, we need to go back to our room and watch How to Train Your Dragon. I said, no. I said, we're not watching How to Train Your Dragon. You shouldn't watch the animated movie. Because he had never seen it before. I said, you should not watch the animated movie until after you watch this one. And he was like, why? And I was like, because that's all your experience is going to be, is comparing it. Because it's going to be so fresh on your mind, you're not going to appreciate the story as much. You know?
But
if it's so, even though you already know it's going to happen.
Compare them.
But don't do that the first time.
Maybe I'll do it reverse then. Maybe I'll see the live action and then I'll see
that's
the animated one after.
That's what I would
the day
recommend
after. Doing. Okay. Because I do if there is a genuine debate about which one is better, I do think that there should be an apples to apples comparison.
I think that's fair. I just think give the live action a fair shot and watch that one first.
All right.
But yeah, seeing Coco's face, I can't talk about when, because I know this is weird because everyone's seen this movie for the past like 15 years. But like I'm literally not allowed to talk about the specifics and give reviews. But seeing Coco's face at some points was priceless. It was so cool.
They already announced it. Well, you're probably gonna get to
this.
No,
you can go. So after we watched the movie, oh my gosh, I got to talk to Dean twice. Dean, the director of both the original and the new live action movie.
Cool.
I got to talk to him twice, and we got to talk about like my thoughts. And like he's excited about, he was really paying attention to what people like been saying and would want to see, and they're doing that. And after I talked to him, was the Universal presentation, and they announced How to Train Your Dragon 2. So they are doing the live action How to Train Your Dragon 2.
That is an insane business decision to me that they are already announcing that they're going to make a live action How to Train Your Dragon 2 before the first live action one has even released.
Listen,
they have no idea what the performance of the first one is going to be, and they're already dedicating resources and budgeting and creating plans for the second one.
That's how good.
They're so confident
That's
that
how
this
good
first
it
one
was.
is going to
I think the first
be a
one is going to
blockbuster.
knock it out of the park. I have some. I'll just say this. I think the first one is the greatest live action adaptation of anything I've ever seen.
Wow.
And there's a lot of debate. Again, I cannot talk about specifics. I cannot tell you why I think that and what the eternal debate is. But that's where I land. I think it's going to do great.
Then maybe we should come back to this topic after we've.
We will. This episode is not now playing How to Train Your Dragon.
Right.
We'll get there in June. Just a couple months. We'll get there.
So what are some other things that you saw?
So Universal, they also had an orchestra which played all the iconic themes. So I was crying throughout this presentation.
I have seen that people have seen the animated How to Train Your Dragon live in concert. You know how they'll play the movie and then there'll be a live orchestra playing the music. I have seen that. They've done that with the.
I need to do that.
It's
so good. But the Universal was the best presentation, like by far the best presentation out of all of them. I saw clips of Jordan Peele's new movie, Him.
Jordan
Peele. My bad. Sorry, Jordan. Jordan Peele's new movie, Him, which the trailer looked really good.
He's really big on that, like just the short one syllable titles.
Yeah, I think it's all going to connect.
Nope, Him.
It's all going to connect.
Okay.
But I saw glimpses of the new teaser for Jurassic World Rebirth.
Okay.
And
with ScarJo.
I think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be potentially could be the best movie of the summer.
Whoa.
I know it's going up against going up against Superman and Fantastic Four in the same month.
Uh-huh.
How to Train Your Dragon. I think Jurassic World Rebirth could be the best movie of the summer. From just what I've seen so far, I am so hyped. It's bringing back the original writer of Jurassic Park, seeing some elements. In the new teaser, they show elements that they took from the original book and put it in this movie, and you got to see that in this new teaser that they're going to drop eventually. So good. I am so excited for Jurassic World Rebirth. But the thing that everybody was talking about at the Universal presentation, the thing that really stole everything, Wicked for Good.
Right, the part 2 for Wicked. They really they made this follow-up movie so quickly. This part 2.
Wicked for Good. The trailer, the teaser. I cried in the teaser.
You cried
so
at the
good.
Teaser.
I cried during the trailer. It's not even a teaser. It's a full-blown trailer. I cried.
Wow. I'm really glad that they didn't do the thing where they waited 5 years to come out with the second part, because part 1 literally ends at the intermission of the original movie, which is essentially, it's not a cliffhanger, but it is you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
It's not actually a conclusion.
It's so wild. I mean, the trailer, so what I would say with the trailer, because there's some aspects of it I do want to keep, tucked.
Private, yeah.
You do hear glimpses of Elphaba's new song, which is
not in the musical?
Which is not in the musical.
Okay.
So Elphaba and Glinda are both going to get a new song each.
That was something that I was curious about, because all of most of the bangers for the musical are in the first half, and the second half is just, I think, shorter. There's less music in the second half. When you listen to the actual Broadway soundtrack and you think about how they're going to make this second movie, they needed to make some new songs.
Listen, they kicked this trailer off with the first song you hear from the movie in the trailer is glimpses of this new Elphaba song. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Mm-hmm. And it gave me chills. And the beats. So it's very short. It's a very short glimpse, but it gave me chills. You do see Glinda and Elphaba reunite in the trailer.
Great.
You do hear For Good. And you do hear No Good Deed. And I really like this detail of the Wicked for Good trailer that's going to drop. What I love about the Wicked for Good trailer is that it directly mirrors Wicked Part 1. Okay. In the sense of Wicked Part 1, the only voice you really heard was Elphaba's Defying Gravity, right? Mm-hmm. You hear Elphaba's Defying Gravity with glimpses of Ariana's Popular. Wicked for Good is flipped. You mostly only hear Ariana Grande singing with glimpses of Cynthia Erivo singing. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. Yeah, the Wicked for Good trailer is going to just be an absolute topic.
Do we know when the movie comes out?
We know the movie releases November 21st. 2025. Okay. It's Thanksgiving. And we probably will get that Wicked for Good trailer very, very soon. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get it like a week after we are recording this episode. Very, very soon.
Which is good that you've already seen it then, so you can kind of talk about it.
But they did not give a release date. But again, the movie comes out this November, so you're not going to be waiting much longer. Before the Universal presentation, we just skipped over this.
Oh, did we?
I was filming my recap of How to Train Your Dragon. And then I was filming, or my review of How to Train Your Dragon. And I was filming, remember, I said there's a spot I went to, right?
Uh-huh.
Go back to that spot to film these. And I was filming my predictions of Universal. And I was talking about, like, what I think we would be getting in the Wicked for Good trailer. So literally talking about Wicked for Good, I put my phone down because Cynthia Erivo, freaking Elphaba herself,
right, walked
in front of me. And I was like, can I please get a picture? And she's like, yes. She's like, yes, of course. Very, very sweet. So sweet. I turned, and then I was about to take the picture, and then I realized I don't want a picture. I had to tell her. I was like, I need to talk to her about Allison.
Right.
And so instead, I took a video, and I was like, hey, I need to tell you, my wife loves Wicked. In the video, I said she's watched it every week for like a year. That's not true. That was pure panic. Obviously, it hasn't been a year. But like Allison has watched it a lot.
Yeah, you sent me that video, and I kind of made fun of you.
She listened. Allison listens to Wizard and I every single day. That's not exaggeration. She's listened to that song every single day since it's come out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to talk. I have to tell. If I'm going to meet Cynthia Erivo once, I'm going to tell her about how much my wife loves her.
After watching that movie, I was also like bumping the soundtrack at work a lot.
Yeah. So I met Cynthia Erivo, and then I realized, oh, this is the spot. This is the spot.
This is where all the celebs are coming.
This is where they're going. I don't know why they come through, but this is where they're coming through.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was a Universal presentation. Passion spit. The next day, any comments so far? By the way? No. I'm sorry. This is a Berkan Yap episode.
That's fine. I mean, you have the scoop right now. You know what I mean? So
I do got the
scoop. we gotta figure out what's going on. Yeah, and you're the guy who's gonna tell us.
And I can't cover everything that they showed at Cinemacon. I can't do it. I wish I could. So I'm truly trying to give you guys the highlights of what I think our audience would enjoy. Yeah. The next day was Paramount.
Okay.
No, that night was Amazon. So
Okay.
The night of Universal, we had three presentations technically, if you include the screening. That night was Amazon. Amazon's slate looked really interesting. A lot of interesting movies. They have a star-studded lineup. Like, this is where everybody's at. Like, Chris Pratt has a movie, Hugh Jackman has a movie, Chris Hemsworth has a movie. Chris Hemsworth has like this movie about like LA's like 101 or whatever, the highway. It's like a action movie
about a highway.
It's an action movie. It's not specifically about a highway. It's named after a highway in LA. It's with Halle Berry. First time I've ever seen Chris Hemsworth have an American accent, which was interesting. But anyway, so the Amazon presentation wasn't all that exciting. The movies I thought were really cool. It's more cool who was in the movies. So that was more the fun of the Amazon presentation. We all thought it was going to end with the James Bond reveal. There was no James Bond reveal.
Does Amazon own James Bond? What's the deal with
They
that?
do now.
Oh.
Amazon. The next James Bond movie is being made by Amazon.
Okay, you might have told me that before.
Yeah. So that's happy. So that's what we all thought, and that's what we're all hoping for. It literally ended with like this clip of like them filing that document that said classified and James Bond on it, and so we're like, oh, they're about to reveal it, and then they didn't.
That's kind of sick.
It was kind of mean,
that's
but
kind of devious.
They're literally in the casting process right now. Like they've just.
So we know they're making it.
Yeah, it's happening. Like they're in like the first month of production, which is pre-production.
Do you think it's gonna be like somebody we already know, or do you think they're gonna
I think
bring out an unknown and make a star?
I kind of hope they make a star.
I kind of hope they make one too. Did people know who Daniel Craig was before these?
I'm sure.
Recent
he was definitely an actor.
He
but
was
James
already?
Bond was definitely
Because
propelled him.
I mean, yeah, the movies came out when I was so young that I only really knew Daniel Craig as James Bond. I didn't know him from anything else. And to this day, honestly, I don't know of anything from before James Bond. I only know of stuff after James Bond, like with those new those murder movies with that Ryan Johnson Knives Out,
a murder mystery. That's what I was
Glass
hoping.
Onion.
I was hoping we would get some info on that, but I don't know.
Is that also Amazon?
No, it wasn't Amazon. I don't think. But I think Netflix is one making it, which is why we didn't get anything.
Okay, but so you saw Amazon's stuff.
Yeah, I saw Amazon stuff. The next morning was Paramount.
Okay.
Paramount. There's a lot in Paramount that we were hoping would be revealed that wasn't revealed. We got a new trailer for Mission Impossible, which was really cool. I really liked part 1, so I'm excited for Final Reckoning.
There's so many Mission Impossible
There's so many,
movies.
but I think this truly will be like a love letter to Tom Cruise and his last time as Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
We did get another new third year in a row. They did this. They talked about the brand new Avatar, the Last Airbender movie. They didn't show anything. The third year in a row, but we do have it. We got the full cast reveal.
I feel like there's so many Avatar projects now that we're like, when is this coming?
Yes.
Like,
But the new movie is going to be called Aang, the Legend of the Last Avatar.
but he's not.
The Legend of the Last Airbender.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
He also was not the last Airbender. Now that we think about it, you know,
Yeah.
it got down to one, but there were Airbenders.
Maybe
after
it's the
him.
Legend of the Airbender. I don't know.
No, I mean it probably is called the last. I mean that was what his show
No,
was called.
it might
The
be
Last
Legend of
Airbender.
the Airbender.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't. It's kind of fuzzy. I just know that the movie is now called Aang.
Okay.
But that's coming soon. I got a new look at the brand new SpongeBob movie coming to theaters, and
They're making another one. Okay.
yeah, I got a new look at that. Mark Hamill's voicing the Flying Dutchman.
Oh, fun. All right.
It was a trailer.
Oh, okay.
It was a trailer. We'll see how that one goes.
I liked the voice of the original Flying Dutchman.
Mark Hamill's voice is very close. Mark Hamill is a very good voice actor.
He's really good.
I skipped over two big things from Universal.
Oh, you should have written something down.
I know, I should have. Two big things from Universal. Super Mario Bros. 2, April 2026.
Okay.
A year. Also in 2026, Minions 3.
Okay. Neither of those really excite me.
No,
all that
but
much.
the Universal lineup is Super Mario Bros. 2, Minions 3, and Shrek 5 all in 1 year.
Okay.
That was kind of crazy.
Again, none of those really.
It's going to be a crazy box office. All three of those are heavy box office hitters, though. Universal is going for the box office in 2026.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure they're gonna do numbers, but none of those movies to me like actually make me light up. And
I mean, Shrek 5 will be fun because it's Shrek.
yeah.
All right. So that was a Paramount presentation. Again, not a whole lot in Paramount, in my opinion, or at least nothing that I'm like excited to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Cinemacon ended with Disney.
Okay.
So Disney, full transparency, I love Disney. Disney might have an argument to be the most disappointing presentation.
Whoa. Is it because the expectations are so high because they're Disney?
There is a level of expectation, and I'll explain my thoughts. Disney's not isn't ranked so low because Disney, the footage wasn't exciting, like the movies they showed wasn't good. The footage they showed was great. I loved everything they showed. What was disappointing was they were the only studio that stayed in 2025.
So they didn't announce anything for 2026 or later.
Every studio showed something new in 2026.
Is there going to be
talked about something in 2026, announced something, gave some type of look. They talked about their 2026 plans and beyond.
Okay.
Every studio did this except Disney.
Is CinemaCon every year?
Yes,
So
CinemaCon's every year.
maybe they'll just tell us about the other stuff next year.
Yeah, but it's like, so there's still like
if it's every year. If you announce like a movie that's coming out in 2027, you're gonna have to announce it now, next year, and in 2027, right?
Yeah, but again, I'm not expecting them to talk about 2027.
Yeah,
they didn't talk about 2026.
But there were other studios that did talk about those.
There were some, but mostly it was like, hey, this is what's coming in 2026.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's when you kind of start expecting some type of teaser, footage or something to get an early look at the new movies.
Were the movie announcements also disappointing? Was it just disappointing because they stayed in 2025, or was what they actually talked about disappointing?
So I'll get into that. So it started off with this really great sizzle of Lilo and Stitch, of Stitch going into all like the iconic Disney universe, like Pixar movies, Star Wars, Marvel. It was really great. And
Kingdom
then they
Hearts
showed,
style.
Yeah, and then they showed footage of Lilo and Stitch. That was the first disappointment, was because the footage they showed was the footage that they released to the public 2 weeks ago.
So you guys already knew everything.
We've already seen it, and that's kind of the whole point of CinemaCon, is that the tradition is that you show something no one's seen or exclusive to CinemaCon.
Right.
So you started off with something that's not really exclusive to CinemaCon. But that was fine. The Marvel presentation was great. We did see the brand new trailer for Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Fantastic. Silver Surfer's in it. Silver Surfer comes down and she's
Silver
like,
Surfer.
This world has been targeted and is the next world that's marked or whatever. She's basically coming down to warn them that Galactus is coming. We did not get a good look at Galactus in this trailer, but they're very much keeping Galactus' look under wraps, which I kind of like. But Silver Surfer looked amazing. amazing. We also got to look at extended look at Thunderbolts, which I think is going to be an incredible movie. I am so excited for Thunderbolts.
That's coming out next month.
Next
coming
month,
out May.
Yes. We got an extended look at Elio for Pixar,
Okay.
which comes out in June. I think it's going to be visually very, very pleasing. It is a story that we have seen many times.
Aliens.
Not just aliens. It's like grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
There's no place like home. You know.
Yeah.
But I think visually it's going to be good. You know, I love Pixar, so I'm always going to be excited for Pixar.
Mhm.
And then we got to look at Zootopia 2, which releases in November. Personally, I was also a little bit disappointed. I wanted to see the first trailer for Zootopia because, again, it comes out this November. And it's going up against Wicked, by the way. Yeah. But Moana 2 also went up against Wicked and did just fine.
Okay.
So we got a new scene from Zootopia. They were basically in this in this couples therapy. They're not a couple, but it was like for partners.
For police partners?
For police partners.
Okay.
And the whole thing was like when your police partner is a different species.
Right.
So it's how do you work together as a different species? A dual species partnership, I guess. A dual species couple. So that was interesting. But the next clip they showed was the same clip they showed from D23. So I was like, I've seen this clip.
So you just saw couples therapy. Like the exclusive.
Yeah, I saw like maybe 30 seconds of a couples therapy scene. And then the next clip was one that I saw a year ago.
Okay.
Not a year ago, but a long time ago. So no teaser there, so I was a little bit disappointed with that. It did end with Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Cool.
We did get a good look at Avatar: Fire and Ash, not just like the teaser, but like some like scenes from Avatar: Fire and Ash.
That's a Disney movie?
It's just a Disney movie. Here's my hesitation with Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Uh-huh.
Very excited for Avatar: Fire and Ash. I love the first two Avatar movies. I didn't feel it.
Okay.
Well, I was like, I really like what I'm seeing, but like, I'm not like
Are they
pumped. Maybe I was just tired.
Are they in a new biome? Are they in the desert?
They are not in a new biome, but they were interacting with air traders, and they were the big conflict is against the ash people, which is kind of like the fire lava biome.
Okay.
So that was interesting to see. I don't know. There's a lot of it what they showed, and it's not finished, of course, but a lot of what they showed very much felt like a video game. Like I was watching a video game cutscene, which I was like, oh yeah, it's a little bit. And I don't know if that's like because it's not finished, or I don't know if it's too high tech.
So it didn't look great.
Yeah, I almost wish like, I don't know. I wish they didn't show anything that wasn't finished.
Yeah,
which
because
I
the
know
Avatar movies, what they're known for is, the revolutionary use of CGI.
Right, and now again.
And motion cap.
Again, though, like this is Cinemacon, you do see things that aren't finished, and that's totally fine. But for Avatar, I was like, oh, I don't know if I wanted to see what was on the other side of this.
And that's coming out 2025?
That's coming out this December.
Wow. Do you think they're going to be ready? Do you think they're going to push that off?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But, I mean, yes, it's going to be ready. It's going to release this year. It has to. It is going to release this year. And again,
why does it have to?
There's aspects of what they showed. They're not going to delay it. There's no way they're going to delay it. There's aspects of what they showed which I was really, really excited about. Like, it looked really good. I just wasn't like... I don't know how to explain it. It just didn't capture the magic of when I saw, like, Avatar Way of Water.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know... I just don't know what it is. Maybe because there wasn't a 12-year gap. Maybe this time it's suffering because there wasn't a gap. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing with these Avatar movies is that they take so long and they're so expensive.
I think Avatar Way of Water went through this too. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't like emotionally attached to this franchise. Like, I'm not like I wasn't like dying for it because in my brain I'm already like, oh, it's gonna come out when it comes out, you know. And so like I'm almost like I don't believe what I'm seeing is new until I see it in theaters.
And if these movies don't blow you away, like if they're not absolutely stunning and revolutionize the entire game, then they were a failure.
Yeah,
that's the problem with these movies are so high stake that if they don't change your life, they did a bad job.
But yeah, that was Cinemacon. Now the detail of Cinemacon. This is a casino. This was my first time gambling in Vegas.
Okay.
I went up $540 just on blackjack.
Whoa!
My first Vegas experience. I sat down on a $25 minimum the first day. And I was like, I just want to get my first gamble out the way. Walked away with $200. I was like, whoa, this is within like the first like 30 minutes of being in Vegas. I was like, that was crazy. Then throughout the week, I just kept playing blackjack. Went down some, but then went right back up.
Dude, that's gonna happen every time you go to Vegas.
That has to, right? That's every time I go to
Statistically-
Vegas, I'm going to make money.
No, you're
right?
a winner.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah, and so I was like, how many people could say they were in Vegas for like at least 5 days and then came out winning?
Just kept winning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I've never experienced anything like
You
that.
should become a professional.
I should become a
That's what you
professional
should do for
blackjack
your
player.
job.
But yeah, that was Cinemacon. Michael, is there anything I said about Cinemacon that really sticks out to you? Also got a ton of free candy. Like a ton of free movie theater candy. It was crazy.
Did anything stick out to me? Jeez. No, not really. No, I mean, like, because I think I also like I told you the things that stuck out to me already, like as you were talking.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I don't know.
It's okay.
I wasn't keeping a highlights reel.
It's okay. I get it. You don't love me. I
No,
don't care about cinema.
that's right.
But no, Cinemacon, it was a dream to be at that conference.
Hopefully, first of many times.
First of many.
Yeah.
My next dream is I want to bring you and Allison to Cinemacon.
That'd be cool.
That's the goal. If I
We'll
can bring
see.
you two with me to Cinemacon, I would be very, very happy.
Yeah. So that Allison can meet Cynthia Revo.
So Allison can meet Cynthia Revo, or just so you guys can be there. I'd love to share that with you guys next time.
Okay. If you only had to take one, who would you take?
Allison.
If you only got to take one.
I'd take Allison.
What if you need somebody to like help you record or something?
Allison can help me record.
Or what if you need somebody who can carry your stuff?
Allison can carry my stuff.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
What if you need somebody with a little bit more charm and charisma?
Allison's got some charm and charisma.
Yeah, but what if you need somebody who's like God, I guess Allison's better than me in every way, huh?
I mean, if I don't take Allison, I guess I could always take Mark, my brother-in-law.
There's got to be something that I bring to the table that Allison doesn't. There's got to be.
There's not.
Oh my god.
I love you, Michael. I love you. My dream is to bring you both.
All right. Well, hopefully I'll be with you next
Yeah.
time.
Let us know in the comments what you heard from me. That was very exciting.
Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to
Be
follow.
sure to subscribe. Leave us your movie take that you want us to react
Right.
to.
If
in
you guys
the
are listening on
comments.
Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you follow the podcast, leave a 5-star review and comment/write your comment in the review. Then we will read your movie opinion on the podcast, react to it, fight about it probably. And if you're listening on YouTube, you can just subscribe and leave a comment of your movie opinion.
Yes,
And we will read
and
it.
don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon page, because once we get 20 Patreons, and there is still $1 Patreons available for a limited time. Once we get to 20 total Patreons, doesn't matter how much you personally buy into, we will play a drinking game with Revenge of the Sith, record it, and post it for your pleasure on Patreon only.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be really cool.
Especially if you like Star Wars and drunk people.
Yes, and very funny drunk people, I might add.
Right.
I like to think we're very funny.
One very funny drunk person.
Don't forget to follow us on all socials at the Drive-In Movie Pod.
Right. And thanks for driving in.
Thanks for. Oh wait, we forgot to tell them what's coming soon.
What's coming soon?
Coming soon to the Drive-In Movie Pod, the next episode, Sinners.
Oh, I am so excited for Sinners.
Yeah, so that'll be the next movie now playing at the Drive-In Movie Podcast. So be on the lookout.
All right, be sure to tune in for that.
Yeah, thank you for driving in with us, guys.
Bye.